Good morning. I'll try that one more time. Good morning. Thank you. Really appreciate all of you being here with us today on what is a really joyous day for our hospital and our community, and also a just absolutely beautiful spring day. So thank you all for joining us. My name is Dan Cochran. I serve as the president for Adventist Healthcare Shady Grove Medical Center. I've been here at Shady Grove now for 12 years, and 4 years in this role. So I know many of you that are here today, and really appreciate all of you joining us on this beautiful day. At Adventist Healthcare, our mission is about extending God's care. And it's important for us that everything we do, we start with a prayer devotion. So I'm going to ask our chaplain, Stephanie Grant, to join us to get us started today.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Let us pray. Holy One, we who are gathered together today call you by many names, but we acknowledge you as first and foremost the creator of all things. We thank you first for the breath in our lungs, for the beating of our hearts, for our health, oh God, that allows us to sit under this tent on this day in our right minds. Now, God, we ask your presence as we take the next step in the extension of your care in our community, through the turning of these shovels and the building of our newest tower. God, be with us as we celebrate, and bless us as we continue your mission, because we ask it in your name. Amen.
Thank you, Stephanie. I am grateful for each of you to take your time today to be with us. And we've been waiting a long time for this opportunity. We've been planning for this for a long time. And, you know, the building originally was built in 1979, and healthcare has changed quite a bit since then. The equipment that's used has changed, technology has changed, the way physicians practice medicine has changed, and the expectations of our patients has changed. And it's important that we change with those things and have the facilities that are really first class for each and every one of our patients. I can tell you that there is no patient that wants to share a hospital room with anybody else. So we need to get to all private rooms, and that's a major component of what we're going to be doing with this new project today. More and more, as we've seen in society, has seen what Adventist healthcare has stood for all along, and that is that healing a person is addressing their body, mind, and spirit. So we want to make sure that the components of this building address all of those areas as well, as do the individuals caring for our patients. The image or the thought of this process, the vision that came up with this tower, started several years ago. And it started under President John Sackett's leadership when he was president of this hospital. John spent many years with us here at Shady Grove, and we're really happy that John's with us today, and we're really happy that John continues to be a leader for Adventist Healthcare as the Chief Operating Officer for Adventist Healthcare. But John used to always say that a world-class community deserves a world-class hospital, and that's exactly what we want to move to. And, you know, he speaks of that in terms of both the facilities, but also the capabilities of what we can do in that hospital. Our capabilities have clearly grown over the years. When you look at all the services provided at Shady Grove Medical Center, from the emergency services to the care for heart attack victims, stroke patients, our women's and infants services, our neonatal intensive care unit, our intensive care services, all the things that we do, cancer and research, all those things, the capability every year is getting better and better and more robust. But we also need the facilities to keep up with what we're doing for our community. So John, thank you for your leadership, your vision, and really being the first real proponent for what we're coming here today to celebrate. You know, when the pandemic hit, it really made it really clear that hospitals have to be designed to take on new challenges and to be flexible. You know, when you've got a 40-year-old building, there's not a lot of flexibility in that. So we ended up building temporary walls and doing all sorts of things to make it work. We were able to take designs and things that we learned through that process and put them into the design of this facility. And we'll hear a little more about that in a little while. But building a healing environment is not just important for our patients, but it's also important for our caregivers. When you look back at the pandemic, when many people in the country were working from home, many of our caregivers, our hospital was their home. They spent all of their time here, much of their time. And we really need to have a space for them to be able to succeed in and to rejuvenate in and be able to continue the caring mission that they have. You know, it takes an awful lot of people to have a project like this come to fruition. And it takes many different aspects. And one of the major aspects that we have is the coordination through the government. And we have many government officials with us today. And I want to take an opportunity to recognize those that are with us. State Senators Nancy King, Brian Feldman, and Craig Zucker. Thank you all for being here. Delegates Linda Foley, Lily Key, and Pam Queen. Represented Senator Ben Cardin, we have Kevin Mack and Ken Reichart both with us. Thank you very much. Karen Hendricks, representing Senator Van Hollen's office. There you are. And Rockville Mayor Bridget Donald Newton is with us as well. I don't believe our council members were able to make it today because they got pulled into an emergency budget meeting. As any of you following the news know what's happening with the county budget, so we certainly appreciate the work that they're doing and their efforts to make that happen. But we certainly want to thank all of our friends in the local, state, and federal government for all of your support towards this project. Thank you very much. When we care for patients, we don't do it by ourselves. Obviously, the hospital has a component of the care that's provided, but there are a lot of things that happen outside the walls of the hospitals. And we have a lot of community partners that are involved in that, from physician practices, and many of the physicians are with us today, and we appreciate you being here. But we also have our community clinics, we have outpatient centers, we have skilled nursing facilities, assisted living facilities, all together care for our community. And it's really all of those members and those that support our community members that don't have the support in order to take care of themselves. So we have community services that provide care for people that don't have the food that they need or don't have support or roof over their heads. All of those services, because those things are critical to the health of our community. So it's important for all of our community members to work together. So for all of you that are in the audience, thank you for your partnership in caring for our community. The cost, I don't know if you're aware, but we designed this building a few years ago, and it was approved by the state to be built in 2021. After 2021, prices kind of took a little bit of a jump. I don't know if anybody noticed. But things got much more expensive. And it's because of that that I want to thank all of you that donated towards this project. We've been able to amass already $11 million in philanthropy towards this project. Many of those donors are in this area now. I would ask for all of you that donated to please stand and be recognized. Thank you, and I did notice a couple of you didn't stand, but that's okay. I do appreciate it, and for those of you that didn't give yet, we still have about 5 million more to get to our target, so I'm just saying. But today is not just about the building. It's also about the people inside the building and who do the work, about our amazing caregivers and everybody that supports our caregivers, from the physicians to the nurses, therapists, technicians, our housekeeping staff, the supply chain staff, food service, all of those areas working together to provide care for our community. And it really does take 3,000 people, and that's what it is, over 3,000 people to keep Shady Grove Medical Center running, between our physicians and our team members, our volunteers. It's a lot of people, but it's a lot of people that really have in their heart the desire to do the right thing for their community and for each other. And that really says something about the work that they do. We've got many members of our clinical teams that are going to be joining us in just a little bit. And it's really about the work that they do, and that's why we've got the spaces, so they can treat the patients that we see every day in our hospital. It is rather fitting that we are doing this groundbreaking this week, as it is both Nurses Week and Hospital Week this week. So we are not only celebrate what we're doing, but we celebrate across healthcare wide all of the hospitals and all of our nurses, which of course, in order for any hospital to be successful, we have to have a very good nursing service, and we have an excellent nursing service. And again, we'll be introducing you to a few of them in just a little bit. So, Shady Grove Medical Center is really delighted. We are a flagship within Adventist Healthcare. Adventist Healthcare is made up of many different entities, and in total, over 50 locations across the area between Montgomery County, Prince George's County, Washington, D.C., and others, where we provide care in a number of different settings. So we're really part of a much larger organization, and I'm really happy to have my colleagues from our other hospitals with us here today. Thank you very much for joining us, as well as our leaders from across Adventist Healthcare and our system level. So thank you all very much for being with us today. I also want to thank our sponsoring organization, the Seventh-day Adventist Church. We have representatives from our church here today as well. And obviously, that really guides how we do what we do, is being part of the church, and it's an important part of who we are. So we always want to recognize that. But I want to especially be grateful for the support that I receive and friendship from AHC's President and Chief Executive Officer, Terry Ford. Terry has been with us for many years and has led our system through tremendous growth over the last several years. And at this time, I'd like to invite Terry up for a few words.
It's great to be with you, and Dan, congratulations. This is a very special day, and we're glad to be here with you and your team to celebrate it. I'm honored to join our Adventist Healthcare leaders here today, members of our community, our state, our church, to celebrate this true milestone. I'm so deeply grateful for our generous donors who are also here celebrating with us today. Please allow me to add my voice to Dan's in saying a heartfelt thank you to every one of you for your invaluable partnership. This is a significant moment for Shady Grove Medical Center. Indeed, we have looked forward to today for quite some time. Many committed team members have worked hard over the years to deliver care in light of the evolving needs that our community expects from us. We listened, we studied, we proposed, we designed, and we advocated for facilities to bring next level of care right here at Shady Grove Medical Center. Thank you again to the many experts and stakeholders who are crucial in helping us along the way. Adventist Healthcare is honored to be the choice of our community. We provide almost 700,000 patient interactions every single year, a responsibility that we take very seriously. We have a remarkable team of more than 10,000 skilled employees, affiliated physicians, and contingent team members who reflect the diversity of our community and represent more than 100 nationalities. Their dedication is what allows us to fulfill our mission to extend God's care through the ministry of physical, mental, and spiritual healing. Together, we are working to provide world-class coordinated care across our region. and we are joined by more than 1,900 community physicians in our clinically integrated network. The Adventist Healthcare Physician Alliance is truly working together to ensure the highest quality of care and best outcomes for our patients. Adventist Healthcare Shady Grove Medical Center is a key part of our healthcare system, offering our community a full range of award-winning care opportunities along each patient's journey, such as heart, stroke, maternity, orthopedics, mental health, and much, much more. To continue that long-standing tradition of compassionate care, we are excited to start construction of this, our state-of-the-art patient tower at Shady Grove Medical Center, an expansion which will allow us to enhance the ability of our dedicated team members to provide hope and healing to all of our community. Dan, on that note, I would like to affirm you once again and the entire leadership team and every volunteer team member here at Shady Grove Medical Center for your insight, for your hard work, and the efforts to bring this all together. This is another foundational step in bringing world-class care to Montgomery County and all the regions that we serve. Thank you for being here today, again, for your partnership and for your commitment to our mission. Now, let me also share with you that there are a couple of people here today that were at the original groundbreaking of this medical center. My friend, Rob Thomas, is here, just sitting about halfway back. Rob, I want to say hello to you. Good to see you. And there may be a couple of others as well, but if you're here as part of that original groundbreaking at Shady Grove Medical Center, after we do the shovels in a little while, we want any of you that want to come up and be a part of it to join us. Rob, I look forward to seeing you turning that dirt with us a little later on today. But again, another important part of the history of Shady Grove, Dan, and so we'll turn it back to you.
Thank you, Derek. So obviously, a hospital is necessary for a community's health. And as important as hospitals are and what we do, we cannot build them, or in this case, add on to them, without a lot of support. And we've received a lot of support through our government help today and really throughout the last year. And some of that has come from Senator Nancy King and Senator Zucker, who have together really authorized and gotten authorized funding that was really necessary for us to be able to move forward with this project. We could not do this without the support that they have brought to our hospital. So with that, I would like to invite Senator King up for a few comments.
Good morning, everyone. It's wonderful to be here this morning, and let me say that Craig Zucker and I were able to get this money, but not without the rest of our colleagues here. And it's really kind of nice to have two people from Montgomery County on the Capital Budget Committee, and Craig being the chair of that committee. That's also really helpful. So. Yeah, it's wonderful to see things follow through and the job getting done. We also really enjoy working with Andrew Nicholas. He is always there for us. I can pick up the phone with any kind of a constituent issue, and Andrew gets the help for us. So I wanted to do a shout out for Andrew. The new patient care tower and renovations are hugely important to the health of our Montgomery County residents, especially those living in the middle and upper parts of the county. Let me say, I had occasion to have some surgery last November, and from the second I walked in the door to the second I left, I could not have had better care before they knew who I was. Excellent care. Every person that took care of me was an expert. So my hat's off to you, and I can say in the community to people, if you need health care, you go to Shady Grove and you will be happy. So that's a good thing. Knowing how important this project is to our residents, I work closely with Craig Zucker to obtain these funds. And we didn't know till about the last couple of days whether we were going to make it happen or not, because everybody's, of course, pulling for those dollars. But we were able to get it done, and that's really a thrill. Adventist Health, my aide, Patty, makes comments for me all the time, and then she gets mad at me because I get off the script. But Adventist Healthcare is an economic anchor in our county. It sure is, and creates jobs here on its campus and through their support of other businesses in our community. I think you can tell that by the different people that are here this morning. We've learned many things from the COVID pandemic, but one of the most important things is the need to be prepared. This new building and renovations will ensure that Shady Grove Medical Center is ready to meet any future challenges, and I am so proud to play a very small part in seeing this project come to fruition. It's really just a pleasure working with all of you, and I'm happy to see this happen today. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator King, and we truly appreciate the support from the state for this project. You know, the hospital, as I mentioned earlier, has over 3,500 people that are involved with it, and I'm not the only leader in this hospital. There is an executive team that I have the opportunity to work with, and a leadership team, broader leadership team. The executive team is here today, and I just want to take a quick second and acknowledge them. Salim Chowdhury, who's our Chief Operating Officer, and Candy McFarland, our Vice President for Behavioral Health Services. Joan Vincent, our Chief Nursing Officer. Dr. Neil Roy, our Chief Medical Officer. Martha Velez, our Chief Financial Officer. And Jason Shockey, our Vice President for Support Services. There is not a team that I would rather be with than this team in leading our hospital, and I appreciate each of you every day for what you do across the board, but most importantly, you take care of the people that take care of the patients, so thank you very much for your leadership. One of our newest members of that team is Dr. Neil Roy. Dr. Roy came to us just in February as the Chief Medical Officer, but he was no stranger to our hospital. Dr. Roy has spent 10 years as an emergency department physician with us, and he also most recently led the LifeBridge Emergency Services in Baltimore. So we're thrilled to have him with us today, and I'm going to ask him to come up and say a few words as well.
Hi there, everyone. So while I've only been at Shady Grove for about 4 months, I am no stranger to the community. I've heard a lot of people talk about how hospitals are economic pillars and places of healing, but it's also the center of this community. And I have lived within 3 miles of this hospital my entire life. 35 years ago, I came here to this very ER with my father when he was a patient. And I was terrified that he was going to die. Ended up, he was fine, probably didn't have to go to the hospital in the first place, but in that day, I realized that I want to be a doctor. It impacted my life, impacted my wife's life, impacted my family's life. And then just 6 months ago, I had my first child at this hospital. It's also why I look a little tired and not rested. So I am truly honored to be here and talk about the impact of this new tower. One of the most important things we're doing is we're building a new emergency department. I'm obviously biased as an emergency department physician, but the ER takes care of almost 80,000 patients. And in the past 30 years, emergency care has changed dramatically. We didn't even have a cell phone 30 years ago. And now we have technology that allows us to look inside a patient's body with an ultrasound right at the bedside. But it's more than just new innovation that's coming with our new tower. We also have the opportunity to take care of a growing subset of our patients that have a mental health crisis. And that population can now be cared for in a more private, secluded way that we didn't even dream about 30 years ago. Shady Grove Hospital is also home to one of the Montgomery County's only forensic medical unit. And having additional privacy for those patients really allows us to provide better care every single day to some of the most vulnerable patients. More than that, from a rearrangement standpoint, building a new hospital and a new tower allows us to put things like the cath lab right next or nearby to our emergency services, allowing us to functionally build in more operational excellence to the care we're already providing. And then, of course, this is far more than just new technology and bigger rooms, which are all very nice. This also allows us to help our community physicians refer their patients in and ensure them that their patients are getting the privacy that they truly deserve. And beyond that, we're also providing a better resource for our EMS providers. They're now able to come to the hospital more easily, offload their patients, and then get back on the streets, helping our community. Now, obviously, none of this could have been made possible without the exceptional work of every member that's a member of our staff, from our techs to our physicians to our community EMS members. And we are so truly grateful for all of their support every single day and making our community a safer and better one. And lastly, I personally want to thank all the members that have really been a part of the design, construction, and build process for our new tower. I am truly excited to really bring next level care right next door with the rest of our community. Thank you, guys.
So obviously, Dr. Roy has a lot of work that he does. We have over 800 members of our medical staff, but he alone does not organize that. There are many physician leaders, many in this room, and I just want to call out one or two of them. Dr. Brodsky is the president of our medical staff, is here with us today, as is Dr. Gamma, the previous president of the medical staff. Two of you could just wave or stand so we could recognize you. Thank you. Thank you. So everyone at Shady Grove is obviously thrilled with to get this project launched, but I don't think you'll find a person that's more passionate about this project than our next speaker. Todd Cohen serves as the Adventist Healthcare's Vice President for Facilities and Real Estate, and he's been instrumental in this project from the inception, from the planning, and through the whole process. Todd is if you want to know about any cool feature of the building or anything that's really neat about construction or engineering, he's the guy you want to spend some time with. And with that, Todd, if you come up and share some words with us.
Good morning, everybody. It's a privilege to be here with you today at our groundbreaking, reflecting on the tower project so far and ushering in its next phase together. I'm proud to be a part of a facilities planning team under the leadership of Jeff Morgan, our Chief Facilities and Real Estate Officer. Jeff, your leadership, your vision are a blessing to all our campus settings and our developing facilities and real estate division, and I really admire our friendship. We started this tower project by counting steps. That's right, we counted steps. We examined our planning and our decision-making processes, and then we streamlined them to eliminate waste and increase efficiency. We wanted to ensure that every step we took was purposeful, and that we were always moving in the right direction. Our commitment to lean processes and evidence-based design has truly paid off in the state-of-the-art facility we are beginning to build. When you build hospital spaces, it's essential to include caregivers in the design. In this project, we asked the key unit-specific personnel to provide their valuable input. By including our team members in the design process, we were able to achieve a design that not only met everyone's needs, but we hope will exceed their expectations. In short, at Adventist Healthcare, we want all our associates to be imaginative and creative and feel empowered to inform the productivity and experience within their spaces. In this way, the users really own their space, and in turn, that space helps influence patient outcomes and at the same time enhances staff engagement. We built mock-up inpatient rooms for the tower's new intensive care unit and medical surgical unit, as well as prototype exam and resuscitation rooms for the new emergency department. We invited everyone in the hospital to participate, and they came. They came in droves. This is the essence, actually, of this hospital. I love that about this hospital. It is our precious staff, and I really love that about Adventist Healthcare. We really encourage our frontline staff to participate. More than 550 employees actually came to visit these rooms, these prototypes. Doctors, nurses, PAs, NPs, nurse assistants, therapists, facilities, biomedical engineers, EVS. We tried cleaning products. We tried all of these things. We wanted to see in a prototype environment what this tower really will become, and we wanted their opinions. Their feedback was instrumental in shaping the tower's design and ensuring care spaces met the needs of everyone, those who will work in them and those who will receive care in them. As we move forward with the project, we recognize the importance and the opportunity of hearing everyone's pandemic influences and stories. By allowing our team members to share their COVID experiences, we were able to acknowledge their challenges and determine necessary changes to the building to ensure our facility and this community was prepared for the future. These conversations led to the addition of increased negative pressure isolation rooms across the project and the capability in the tower to create a specialized pandemic unit. It also allowed our staff a safe space to reflect on the pandemic's impact and the difference they were making. We realized that they needed the space to be creative, and that became therapeutic for them, all while in the moment and during the pandemic's highest waves of acuity. There's something very beautiful about watching a project come to life, but to watch the staff grow and heal through the beginning parts of this process speaks to our human capital and our overall mission as an organization. We focus on healing here, physically, mentally, and spiritually. And that includes our staff who interact with our most sick and our most precious patients. Our commitment to evidence-based design is reflected in every aspect of this project, and we understand the importance of natural light and healing. We wanted to meet the goals of environmental stewardship, which is why we were very intentional about the window shades we picked and the glazing that we have on the windows. It will reduce heat loading and is energy efficient, but it is also shown to influence circadian rhythms, sleep, and even reduce a patient's length of stay. We will also install floor-to-ceiling windows in the new emergency waiting room, as visibility to the outside has been shown by evidence to promote calmness in stressful moments. We are also designing accessible outdoor seating for the intensive care unit family lounge to give families access to nature so that they can decompress. Finally, we will create contemplative spaces in a centralized healing garden between the new tower and our garden tower, as well as a fountain in front of the new structure. Overall, we will install over 20,000 square feet of green roofs around the perimeter of the tower, and it will give our patients, their families, our caregivers in existing buildings and in the new, a lush green view. And I want to thank each of you for your dedication and commitment to this project in the development phases. Many of those folks are here today, which demonstrates their commitment to our mission. I want to acknowledge our design partners, of which there are many, but I want to thank our architectural and medical planning, team from Wilmot Sands, and I also want to thank our planning and land use partners from Montgomery County. I especially want to acknowledge the Shady Grove Facilities and Operations Transition Team, as well as our contracted construction teams. Our team from Turner Construction just passed 400 days of prep work needed before we can actually break ground. Congratulations to them. The tower and the hospital are supported by a centralized utility plant that's being upgraded to become a larger, more modern plant. Recent testing is already showing increased efficiencies, and soon we will use the heat we expend to generate the bulk of our own electricity. Special acknowledgement to Edison Energy for this important work. I also want to thank the role we play as an economic engine for the regional economy. And I want to thank all the subcontractor trade partners across our broader project portfolio. They aren't always visible to the public, but they do tremendous work that ultimately serves their local communities and our patients. All our staff, contractors, builders, we do sacred work, and their efforts have not gone unnoticed. The impact of your work will be felt for generations to come. We have created something truly special, and I'm so proud. I'm so honored to be a part of it. I look forward to seeing the incredible things we will accomplish together as we build next level care right next door, right here in my hometown of Rockville. Thank you.
Thank you, Todd, and appreciate your dedication to this project, and of course the dedication of all of all of those involved in the planning and now construction of the tower as it gets started. So I think we've reached a point where we actually should break some ground. What do you think? We there yet? So it's my pleasure to really introduce to you 10 outstanding Shady Grove team members who are going to help kick off this construction. They represent several of the units that are going to be in the new tower and a few others, but they've been named the best of the best through our facility. So I mentioned earlier this is National Nurses Week, and every year our nurses have an individual in their units who they identify for Nursing Excellence Awards. So the nurses that are joining us today are the excellent nurses from their units, and I'm going to introduce to them, so I'll ask that you stand as I read your name and stay standing. Please hold your applause until the end. I'm going to start from 2C, our observation unit, Athena Ashmead. From our Med-Surg Unit 4B, Fredita Garcia. From the Emergency Department, Mimi Martin. From 4C, our Med-Surg Unit specializing in stroke patients, Marilyn Portillo. From the Pediatric Emergency Department, Anna Renzi. From our Intensive Care Unit, Savichi Sharma. From our Forensic Medical Unit, Katie Wells. Please help me congratulate all these award-winning nurses. You can stay standing because we're about to put you to work. But we have 3 other people we want to introduce that are going to help them this morning. The first is Lawrence Zimmer. Larry's a respiratory therapist that has been here, by the way, since the doors opened in the hospital. In 1979, Larry started with us and has been with us ever since, over 43 years. Thank you for your service, Larry. Really salute Larry not only for his longevity with our hospital, but to our system and to Adventist health system across the board. Larry's been actually started at Washington Adventist before coming, so he has been with us for a long, long time. The next person I want to introduce is Rashida Anderson. Rashida serves as a needs assessment therapist for our behavioral health services, and she's on the front lines of treating and evaluating those patients that come to us with mental health issues, and really represents all of the licensed social workers and really hundreds of behavioral health workers that we have within our system. So thank you, Rashida. And the last person I want to introduce is Natalia Osorio. Natalie serves as our patient representative, and she is the bridge between our patients and our hospital anytime there's an issue or concern. And she has a very difficult job, but I will tell you that there is no one that has more compassion and kindness at seeking out the truth and developing really the solution to whatever issue has come up. So thank you for your service. So now I'd like to invite each of you to come up and grab a helmet and a shovel. And Terry, if you would join them. As they head over, I want you to note the shovels that they're using. They're not the typical gold shovels you see in these situations. These shovels have been designed by our caregivers, and we asked them to, to design looking at the themes of care, compassion, and community. And you can see that their talent goes well beyond their healthcare abilities, so appreciate that as well. Stephanie, if I could ask you to come up to the stage as I grab a shovel, and when I get down there, give us a countdown.
Happy to do so. Okay, Dan. So if you haven't had the chance to see these shovels, I'm going to ask everybody, can you hold them high for a second? The artwork on these shovels is phenomenal, and they all kind of tell a story, and they have a message. So I want to make sure that before we put them in the dirt, you all get a glimpse of some of this great artwork that is on these shovels. Everybody can see it? Got your pictures? Let me know when I can start to count. Y'all look great. Another round of applause for everybody who's here and for the compassionate care that they give. All right, now I'm going to ask the photographers, are y'all ready? Okay, folks, let's count them down. 3, 2, 1. I didn't say that. I like that. When I get to 1, let's go. 3, 2, 1, go! Woo-hoo! Dan? I'll hold your shovel.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Well, that was great. Thank you all very much for joining us today. We're going to have a series of photographs with people. So many of you on the back of your name tag have a sticker which identifies the timing of the pictures that we're going to be doing with your group. So please want to make sure that you're here and available when that occurs, so stay up in this area. As I did mention, the philanthropy continues with our needs for this tower. Lexi's here in the back, I believe, so feel free. She'll be looking. She's right there waving to everybody. And finally, I want to make sure that as you leave, make sure you pick up one of the favors. They're actually flower seeds so that you can grow flowers as our tower grows. And on that package is a QR code that will take you to the website that will also be tracking the construction and what's happening. And there's also a video there now that has a fly-through of what the facility will look like when it's complete. So you'll have that access to that as well. Thank you all very much for joining us today. God bless you.